Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Matthews versus Moore.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Good day. Ms. Matthews, you admit to having an extremely complicated relationship with the defendant, Mr. Moore. Now you say you're here today to prove that he is your 3-year-old daughter Zanaya's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Moore, you argue Ms. Matthews was having an affair with another man and say she waited to notify you about her pregnancy because she was uncertain if her unborn child was yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now you say you've had a hard time letting little Zanaya into your heart because of your continued doubt and uncertainty. Furthermore, you're asking the court to award you $285 in damages for a broken car window, which you say Ms. Matthews destroyed in a jealous rage.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Moore, now, how has the doubt about little Zanaya's paternity affected your connection to her?
Extremely. There's no contact. I made sure that it wasn't going to be any contact till I found out for certain that was my daughter.
All right.
Fanique, in the beginning, we were cool. When I met her, she was a party girl, all the way up to date.
Okay, so then you started a sexual relationship.
Yep.
Were you ever in a committed relationship?
Absolutely. She told me that she was pregnant, but she waited 4 months to do it. Keep in mind, we stayed using condoms all the time, 24/7.
No.
We stayed using condoms, unless I was just out of it one night.
So let me understand this, Ms. Matthews. Yeah. So you were in a relationship with Mr. Moore.
Yeah.
Now he says you didn't tell him you were pregnant until 4 months.
That's true, Your Honor, because
And you're in a relationship during the time?
Yeah. No, we was on and off, but I didn't tell him I was pregnant because it was something I went to the doctor in Alabama and they didn't tell me, they didn't know if my baby was gonna be alive or dead. So I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't tell some of my family members either because I didn't know what I was going to do.
So you were having issues and complications
with
in
my
the pregnancy.
Yes.
We can stop playing victim, though.
So I didn't show you the papers?
I got these papers.
Papers of what?
Her uploading pictures with the guy who was presumably, he could be the dad.
Okay, Jerome, let me see that evidence Mr. Moore is presenting. So let me understand this. You say this is Ms. Matthews kissing another man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During the time that you thought you were together.
Yep.
No, but...
And how did you find this photo?
That actually came from her social network that she used to have, her Instagram.
Why did I post the picture? Because what picture did you post that made me do that on Throwback Thursday, Your Honor?
Jerome, let me see that.
Man.
What picture did you post? And the reason I did bust the window out is because I was calling his phone about this picture.
This is
calling
a
his
window,
phone,
so it's okay to bust a window out.
And they're answering the phone, hanging up, playing, oh, B-word, you're mad, woo-doo-woo. So yes, I was pregnant and I went to his house.
Your Honor, exhibit number 2.
It was a brick by the tire and I broke your back window.
Okay.
Okay.
So she's got angry.
Let's
it's okay for her to break
get this
my
part of the story together.
And you
so
think
hold on, Mr. Moore. Let me understand this. You're in a relationship, what you guys call a relationship. However, one Throwback Thursday, you post a picture of you kissing somebody else.
Yep.
This was your picture choice. While a woman was pregnant with your child, she was having the baby, you thought it was yours.
Absolutely. But we weren't together at the time.
But you weren't together
but
technically.
I had my doubts. Keep in mind.
You had your doubts. So you posted this picture. Now I'm trying to understand the picture you presented to me was a picture she posted.
Yeah.
Which then fueled your doubts that you might not be the child's father because she also had a picture kissing somebody else.
Absolutely.
Your Honor, when I put the picture on Instagram, he came to my job, bust a window. He had to get escorted by Cleveland police. He almost got me fired. I was suspended for 3 weeks with no pay with your child, and you didn't help and do nothing.
Your Honor, she left out the part about her being with her ex, though.
Okay, let me get that part after I figure out this window. Because you're saying once his picture went up, you got mad because you start calling about the picture and nobody would pick up the phone.
They picked up the phone.
Oh, and then they were...
Oh, B, you're mad, woo-doo-woo-doo-woo. It was all of that. So I politely put on my tennis shoes and jogging pants, and I went to his home, and there was a brick by the tire. I said, oh, this is a coincidence. What a coincidence. And I bust the window out.
Okay, so
But
you
you busted-
admit in
And I
open
left.
court.
Okay.
And went home and ate some
So
food.
you're
Your
admitting
Honor.
today in
Your
open
Honor.
court that you busted the
Yes.
window out
Fanique,
of
stop lying.
his
What's
car.
wrong with you, man?
Yes. I don't
All
have
right.
to lie about what I do.
Mr. Moore, let me see this evidence you have.
You was real chilly
This
that night.
is a
wasn't it?
picture of what?
The night she busted out my windows from me uploading a picture with another girl on my
Yes.
social network.
It was
but
either
it's
bust the
okay.
window or bust the
It's
face.
okay for her to bust my windows out though. And guess what
So,
she did?
Ms. Matthews, is this the window you
Yes,
busted
I did.
out?
I busted it out. I should have got the side too.
You know what? Fanique's got an excuse for everything.
I will admit my wrongs, but you're wrong. Rumors.
So you don't party?
What about the rumors? Of course I go party, but what about the rumors you paying for sex with women?
Okay.
Rumors about you just sleeping with all type of people. You woke
Okay.
up in the alley one night because you were so drunk, didn't even know where you were at.
Okay, what about all of the guys and okay, that's fine. That's a lot of.
So listen, you have serious doubts as it relates to the paternity of Zanaya.
Absolutely. I love Zanaya. Believe
You
the
didn't do
Fanique,
anything.
nothing's good enough. Nothing's good
What
enough.
is $20 a week?
$20 a
Or
week.
a month?
Okay, well, why don't you ask those guys
And your
that pull up
doubts,
in your
hold
driveway
on,
for that
hold
money?
on. Your doubts are rooted in the fact that you believe she was sleeping with other people.
Yeah.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Please stand.
Hi, Your Honor.
Hello, step up to the podium. Your name is?
Miss Thomas.
Miss Thomas. Why do you have doubts that your uncle is the father of Miss Matthews' child?
Because Miss Matthews, she gets around. The whole hood knows her. It's nothing new. When he told me he started dating her and she was pregnant, I just started laughing because, like, you don't know how many other dudes she done told this to before. Like, this is a rumor around the hood. She gets around.
But what
What
about
do you,
your
what do you
back
mean?
page?
What do you mean? She
My
told
back page,
other.
You
let's
gets
not play
around,
crazy.
honey. Come
Let's
on
not
now.
play crazy.
Come
The
on.
whole 117th
You
know
gets
you.
around,
Let's
baby.
not play
What about
crazy.
the back page?
So hold
That's
on,
what
Miss
they want.
Thomas.
Go take care of your daughter. That's what you need to
Ladies.
do. Go take care of your daughter. That's what you need to do.
Ladies, I'm trying to understand when you said.
I'm saying she's just known around the neighborhood for lying and saying
Your Honor,
she's
I've never
pregnant.
been pregnant before,
previous
except
time
for my
before.
daughter.
saying that she was pregnant previous times.
Yeah, by different dudes.
Do you have any proof, not just
Yes.
known around
Yes.
the neighborhood?
Yes. The day after prom.
No,
I
we
was
said
at-
proof, not verbal.
The day after I seen her with some dude that looks exactly like my uncle. And I seen her previous times in the neighborhood with this dude that looks exactly like my uncle. So I called my uncle up and
Really?
I'm like, Mrs. Matthews is here with some dude that looks just like you that I told you last time I seen her with. He gets to calling her and she gets to dodging and everything and ignoring his phone call.
I remember
and
getting
he
the call.
tries to call
Where
her and
was
he's
we
like,
at?
well, she's not answering her phone.
Your Honor.
Look
when I
at my
got the
daughter.
call-
Y'all see my daughter?
She called
Ain't she lovely?
She called 3 different other
That's
guys
'cause of
in
me.
the hood,
That's
daddy.
because of me.
What did you just say?
She calls 3 other dudes in the neighborhood that we live in daddy. This is
Zanaya.
not my uncle. Yes. It's
Three-
been
wait.
No, Your Honor.
Zanaya calls 3
No.
other men
3 other
daddy?
man's daddy.
That just sounds ridiculous.
Wait, Miss
you're ridiculous.
Matthews.
What do you
Hold
mean?
on, Miss Matthews.
Don't argue.
Is that true? Does
No, Your
Zanaya
Honor,
call
no.
anyone else daddy?
The only person she called daddy is her 2 papas. That me granddaddy, Your Honor.
No.
No, my daughter did not call anybody else daddy.
Does she call Mr.
She don't
Moore
even call
daddy?
him daddy, no.
Yeah,
he
you know
don't
what?
be
like I told you in the
around.
beginning, Your Honor, my niece told me about guys going in and out of the driveway, standing in the driveway. It's times that I done woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning because she had to go drive over to Fanique's house to pick Zanaya up off the front porch.
No.
And she's got guys coming in and out.
My best friend lives directly
Please look at
across
my
the street
daughter.
from Mrs. Matthews. And then
Do y'all see
there'll
some type of
be
neglect?
guys coming in and out the house.
No.
We'll be sitting on the porch and there'll be guys coming in and outside the house and Zanaya will just be sitting on the porch with her nose snotty and hungry.
Really?
And then every
What?
time she comes over, she has the same clothes on. Like my uncle is
Really?
giving her money
Oh my
and
God.
like, what are you
Can
doing?
you
with it?
please
You're
just
not
look at my
spending it on
daughter,
your
Your
daughter.
Honor? Do it look like she has a snotty nose and dirty clothes?
I mean, of course not right now, but
Of course, never.
she's always has a snotty nose.
She's
Let's not
a
play crazy.
beautiful little
Let's not be-
girl.
My daughter would
Beautiful.
never have a snotty nose.
Thank you, Miss Thomas, for your testimony.
welcome.
You may be seated. She's a beautiful little girl indeed, and she definitely deserves better than this mess that I'm hearing in this courtroom today. That's for certain. Ms. Matthews, who signed the birth certificate?
My name is on the birth certificate. It's right here, Your Honor, if you'd like to see it.
Please. Jerome, will you hand me the birth certificate? So you've handed me a copy of Zanaya's
Yes.
birth certificate, and listed under mother's name is, of course, your name.
Yes.
And father's name is
Question
blank.
mark, nothing. Yes, blank.
So, Mr. Moore, you didn't sign the birth certificate
I
because
wasn't
you weren't
signing the
sure.
birth certificate.
Because you weren't sure.
Yeah.
He didn't even get the chance to see the birth certificate. He didn't even come up to the hospital, Your Honor.
I did come to the hospital. She's lying, Your Honor. I came up to the hospital. I didn't stay long, you know, because I had already started hearing those rumors.
If he did, I didn't see him.
Okay.
Ms. Matthews, what is it that you feel? Is it you're disappointed that the situation came to this, or you feel like Zanaya's in a place she doesn't deserve? What are you feeling?
Both.
And I know she do got love for her daughter. I'm not trying to say she's a bad parent. I'm here for one thing and one thing only. I need to find out if I'm her father. You know?
Ms. Matthews,
Because
is there
if not,
any reason Mr. Moore would have to doubt? I mean, truthfully, is
No.
there any reason?
No, I go to work 7 days a week. I don't have no breaks. I gotta pay for a babysitter every time I go to work. I don't never have no me time. And for them to be saying all that stuff, my daughter be dirty, all that, that's impossible. Because I walk around with knees and rags on my
Your
body
Honor.
before my daughter look a mess.
Your Honor, I'm 23 years old. I don't have any other children. I don't have any prior records. I don't have anything. I got my whole life ahead of me. So if I can bring that beautiful little girl with me on this journey, that's what I'm gonna do. But if not, I'm gonna keep it moving, no matter what the outcome
Well,
is
you
today.
need to
You know
be
what
a
I'm saying?
man and come up and say your mistakes. Like, you know, all you do is party and drink.
That's
You know
all
that's
you
all
do.
you do.
Okay.
And if I party and drink all day, then how do I get up and go to work every day?
Where do you work? Please let me know.
Where do y'all work? Because last time I checked, you was doing community service.
No, I never did community service. Let's not play crazy.
Stop arguing with it.
But you could continue to
It's a
just stop
joke.
because
Just
I'm
stop
gonna need for
arguing
you
with
after this show to go find your daddy.
No,
Okay.
I know who my daddy
You
is.
all, you know, if it weren't for
That's dope.
Zanaya, I probably would be about done with this. Because it's a little bit too much silliness and back and forth and talk, just too much. It really is not appropriate when you think about the fact that this baby, she's 3.
Right.
She's not 3 weeks. She's 3 years old. Meaning, this is the time when she can ask questions like, where's my daddy? And so as you all go back and forth with all this silliness and back talk, and then I just keep turning around looking at this beautiful little girl saying, it's got to be better than this. You all have got to talk better to one another. You all have to be more respectful. And you're definitely not gonna come in this courtroom just clowning for absolutely no reason. What we're trying to understand is why Mr. Moore has a reason to doubt. So, Mr. Moore, now, do you have any specific idea about who the other potential fathers could be?
Yeah, the guy that was on that picture.
I know you was gonna say that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Ms. Matthews, you presented to the court some photos.
Right.
And this is a picture of Zanaya and then a picture of Mr. Moore as a child. Do you see a resemblance?
Their lashes, one, look at them, super duper long. And they both skinny as a stick.
Mr. Moore, do you see a resemblance at all?
Absolutely. I mean, every day I look at Zanaya.
And you see yourself?
Yeah, sometimes, you know. But then it's those days that come by that's a little slower, and I'm like, nah, that's what everybody think till you get the results. I don't know, it could go either way. And I
Listen,
always gave you the benefit of the doubt.
Everybody think that's your problem. You listen to what everybody think. One day you have to grow up and be a grown man and make your own decisions.
Explain it. Okay. I can take that. You're right, but explain your disappearing ways. She would disappear, stop answering text messages, stop responding to my calls. You know, it was just a lot.
So listen, you all are making the little details into a huge deal when the major issue is the paternity of this beautiful little girl. And the fact that you were in a sexual relationship at the time and you could potentially be her biological father. And that is what's at issue here today. Do you understand?
Yes, Your
It's
Honor.
just this beautiful little girl, and I'm ready to get to those DNA results. But before I do, I want to deal with this arbitration. Because you say that you'd like the court to award you $285 for the broken window. Do you have any receipts?
You know what, Your Honor, I do have receipts.
May I please see those,
of the
Jerome?
invoice. Here we are.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So this is a receipt from a car repair shop for $285.
Yep.
All right. Well, in open court, Ms. Matthews, you
Right,
admit
yes, I did.
that you broke the window intentionally. Therefore, you are responsible. You cannot, even out of anger, even as upset and as pregnant and as hormonal as you might have been, you cannot destroy someone else's property, all right? So for that reason, my ruling is for the defendant for $285. Are we clear? Now moving on to the DNA results. Jerome, thank you.
You're welcome.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Matthews v. Moore pertaining to 3-year-old Zanaya, Mr. Moore, do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Matthews v. Moore pertaining to 3-year-old Zanaya, Mr. Moore, you are not her father.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. I'm done. It's over with.
I told you. I mean, I'm not shocked.
I got my whole life ahead of me. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? I wish you the best.
My baby gonna be fine. I'll take care of my baby by
I
myself.
wish you the best.
So, Ms. Matthews, I asked you several times if there could be another potential father, and
No,
you
I
said
did not.
no. Whether you're willing to admit it in open court today, something in me is telling me that you know who this person is, and maybe when you get in the quiet of your own space, you'll be able to say, now, self, we done took this all the way to Lauren Lake's paternity court and got up in here, and Mr. Moore is not the biological father. Your daughter deserves more. If you need this courtroom again, we'll be here for you because most importantly, we're here for Zanaya. We want her to know who her father is because she deserves that. I wish you the very best of luck. Court is adjourned.
When I heard the results, my heart just dropped. I didn't know what to think. I want to get her daddy. I found out who's her daddy.
I was shocked. You know, I'm done with it though. I got a bright future and I'm about to soar to the top.